flagrant fouls on Connor McDavid. Now, Connor McDavid is the greatest player in the world, NHL superstar, so of course he has a target on his back. But, you know, in the game against the Anaheim Ducks, we saw him be hit from behind into the boards by Ducks defenseman Hampus Lindholm. The referee was watching the play, and there was no call. The previous game, there's an elbow to the head by Kings defenseman Drew Doughty on McDavid. You know, behind the play, no call on that, but no response from the team. But obviously teams are taking some liberties with Connor McDavid. We've been seeing it all season, whether that's hits from behind, clutching and grabbing mostly, slashes to the hands and whatnot. What is a superstar to do?
Superstar is to hope that Dave Semenko's on his team, but they don't play the game like that anymore. So,
Zach Kaskin's on the team.
Well, I don't have as much problem with the hooking and holding. I mean, Connor McDavid is not the only player that has to put up with the hooking and holding. So does Sidney Crosby and other players. They should be called. The penalty should be called with the dangerous plays, whether it's Connor McDavid or somebody else in the league, whether it's Kucherov or Patrick Kane or, you know, anybody else who's in the top of the scoring race. You know, if it had been Mark Scheifele, anybody pitched into the boards, it should have been a penalty call, and there wasn't. And in Connor's case, I give Connor a lot of credit for not racing right over and getting right in that referee's face and says, "What the heck were you watching?" And he's the captain, he could do it, and he just skated away. So I would hope that Hampus Lindholm, who I think is a pretty good player, plays hard, will at the least get fined for that play because that was a dangerous play. And as for the referee, we never find out what happens to the referees until playoff time, and some referees are working the playoffs and some aren't.
Yeah, that's a play that has to be called 10 out of 10 times, and especially, and you're right, it doesn't matter that it's McDavid, it doesn't matter who went in the boards. That's a dangerous play, cross-check from behind, right in the numbers, sends a guy flying in the boards, in the corner of the arena. That's a play that has to be called 10 out of 10 times. So I'm kind of curious to see when his supervisor calls him and says, "What were you looking at? What did you see? How could you not make that call?" But I don't like the way the league is going right now. When you look around and there's a bit more hacks, there's a bit more whacks being allowed, a bit more holding, a bit more hooking. You look at Elias Pettersson, how he got hurt. He was basically tackled and he got tangled up and hurt his leg. There's just too many liberties being taken on players per general, and star players, because they have the puck more, because they're out there more, you can see it more on them. And the fact that Connor McDavid is being grabbed and hooked and held and obstructed at every opportunity, and the fact that he's not among the leading guys that draw the most penalties in the league is ridiculous to me. Like, that's something that the league has to address. That's something that the owners have to look at, and they have to go to the league and say, this is ridiculous the way they're treating our star players. Because if the league, the referees don't make these calls, then what's going to happen is you're going to go back to the days where you're going to have street justice. You're going to go out there and, honestly, if a guy like Connor McDavid gets elbowed in the face by Drew Doughty, can you blame McDavid if he takes a stick and tries to break Doughty's ankle on that play? No, and then now you have a situation where you're suspending the guy that reacted. And so the league has to do a better job of officiating and just call a rule book. They're in the rules. It's just a matter of, it's not an interpretation. If you slash a guy on his hands, that's not allowed. Call it. And the league is letting, I know that they want a bit more flow in the game now, and they don't want to be power play, but you have to sometimes get through that to kind of show the players that, no, you're not allowed to whack a guy in the hands when he's going down the ice with the puck.
Because it does happen multiple times a game. And I suppose if you're just trying to send the message that you can't do that, it would cut it down, would it not?
Well, it did in 2006 when they said, okay, no more the hook and the slash and the hold, we're calling all of that. And yeah, for the first half of the year, it was power play, one team, power play, the other team. But then the players figured out what you can and can't get away with. And right now, and they're always going to be pushing that line. And right now, I think that they've gone beyond that line and overstepped the line, and the referees are kind of ignoring things like this. And I think they really have to, the NHL has to clamp down on stuff like this, not just on the star players, but I think on everyone in general.
Nobody gets slashed more than Johnny Gaudreau. I don't know, maybe because he's closer to the ice. I don't know, he's a short guy. I don't know, but he gets slashed on the hands more than any other player. I don't notice Connor getting slashed all that often. He's more held and hooked, but you know, it's the plays where you're pitched into the boards, whether it's Connor McDavid or some third liner on another team. It doesn't really matter. That's a penalty, and that's a dangerous play.